Welcome to Cackling in the Void.
My name is Ashley.
And my name is Kaylee.
Let's see if the void echoes back today.
Welcome back, everybody. We are on our chapters 11 and 12 for Iron Flame.
Wow. And
We're
after
very
many weeks
excited.
of us troubleshooting everything, we are hoping today goes swimmingly because it has been a long month filming.
It'll be okay. We're going to laugh.
and
It's
cry.
going to be great.
And it's going to be great. All of the emotions, because this book does like to bring out emotions, mainly yelling and excitement from us, but that's okay.
Mostly yelling and excitement, but, you know,
I mean,
we'll
Liam.
see.
So, there are certain moments where it is sad.
So sad.
So sad. Would you like to start us off, Kaylee?
Yes, I would love to. We are starting off on chapter 11, which begins with Violet and Imogen running. I'm sorry, they're not running together. I think they're walking to class. We are starting off on chapter 11, which starts off with Imogen and Violet doing their morning routine. They're chatting, and it's really interesting to see how their dynamic has grown, because in the last book, they were not friends at all.
No, we didn't get many interactions with them. Even at like the end with Resson and everything. Maybe a few, but like it was mainly, oh, Imogen said this or something like that. Like they didn't really talk much.
Not at all. I think, their first interaction was Imogen breaking her arm.
It actually was.
And then they
came to the table in the beginning after threshing, being like,
Yes.
oh, hey, we'll talk to you now. But even then,
Yeah.
like it was like that. And then it was not that much. So it is fun to see them starting to like build this relationship through running together.
Yeah. And just starting off like the morning with, hey, how's it going? Are you doing good? And Violet replies with, no nightmares, and nobody is trying to kill her currently, so she's doing pretty well. And
Which,
with those
great
two
bar
factors,
to have.
I was also going to say, I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
absolutely.
Because
yeah, I also would not like to have nightmares and be killed personally. I don't know about you, but that's not on my to-do list today.
Yeah, not really. Just gonna try to keep it nice and chill. And as obviously they go on, who do you think comes up, Ashley?
Naolan.
I love that was that was the guess. You're like, definitely them. No, not him, but her great love,
Dane.
Xaden. Xaden has come up in the conversation because, I guess why not at this point?
Yeah. And it is like something they both have in common in the sense of like they both know him. So it gives them an ease, like, oh, like, how was Aiden during the visit or blah, blah, blah. Like, like it's a common ground.
Common ground, common tie, especially when Resson happened. That is one of the most common ties. Xaden openly said, you can only trust people that were with us, and Imogen was with them.
Yeah. And they do have Resson, like, to talk about. I guess that's also common ground, but also, I mean, I know that's more of a touchy, like, that's a hard subject to talk about currently, especially with everybody, like, in earshot, just in case. You don't know who's around.
Yeah, but also, do you just, like, want to casually, like, casual conversation? That's
not a casual conversation.
But also, Violet was, prodding a little bit more and being like, we can trust each other and having an okay time. But it does happen that Imogen feels the vibe, and the vibe is off, and she openly says, "Why do you just not take him back? I think it's going to be best for everybody, yourself included, himself included, and also everybody around you guys, if you guys just get back together."
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the fact that, like, when Violet and Zayden's dynamic is off, the entire group feels it.
Oh, it's so funny.
But
it's also like, guys, come on. You could be a little bit more mature about it. Like, you could be off, but like you could still keep it like you're like if you're in the group, you're friends. You know what I mean? Like you're and you do have like this tie, like you're not getting away from him. So you gotta have to be able to make it be okay.
Exactly. And then Violet, of course, very understandably, kind of just starts like, I don't know if I really want to take him back. Like, what about this? And like, yeah, the sex could be good. And I love that Imogen just cuts her off and is like, don't talk to me about your sex life. You have your friends to talk about your sex life. And that's the only thing we're going to say about the conversation.
Yep, because she's like, oh, no. I was finishing the conversation, not starting a new one. And then she does kind of jab at her a little bit and goes, remember the friends that I'm watching you actively try to avoid at every opportunity? Like, it's noticeable. And like, not even, like if Imogen's noticing it and they don't hang out too often, I guarantee you, obviously, Rhee is noticing it. Like, everybody's going to notice it. That if you're avoiding somebody, it's quite easy to tell.
Also, I'm not going to lie about it. I don't know how subtle Violet is.
Yeah. She doesn't strike me as a subtle person.
No,
which, I mean, it's okay. There's some people that just can't be subtle. I know there's moments where I cannot be subtle. And so, I understand. But also, there's certain situations where you need to be subtle.
Yes, but also she's never needed to be subtle really until now. Yes, she's always been like a general daughter, so like she's of course been subtle in the terms of very polite, respectful, knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Factors, but in terms of this, it's definitely different. Also the age, your first real love. Oh. I'm so sorry.
Wouldn't that go to Dane?
Is that
it was her first like big crush, but that wouldn't be a love. That's just the one who got away.
Crazy. You're a crazy, crazy lady.
And so then as they are continuing and like trying to stop this conversation, yet now starting somewhat of a new one, Violet does say like, oh, like I thought we were friends. And Imogen does go, well, we are co-contributors with an invested interest in keeping each other alive.
I love that. Just like co-conspirators of their little alliance.
So then Violet looks over and she sees Yesenia like hiding behind a tree, and she starts walking over to her, and Imogen is like, you need to be careful around her. Like, it's a scribe. Like, you don't know what if she's like reporting to Markham or something. Like, you don't know, because scribes, as we have been told, hold a lot of knowledge, and so we don't know what if she is, And so Violet's like, no, like, we could trust her. It's okay. And Imogen's kind of just standing there just in case. Like, no. And then, so Yesenia found the book that Violet's been looking for, but she's asking, like, oh, like, are you prepping for another debate? Because that's the lie that Violet told Yesenia, and why she needed these books is that she was prepping for a debate. And I mean, that was her first lie, like a first blatant, not like curving the truth, like a blatant lie.
Very monumental.
Very monumental. She was doing a debate.
But also so interesting that this could still be a topic that they're debating on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, history of the beginning. Like, I understand that it is a college and it is a war college, so I guess maybe
What
the
else?
beginning was the biggest war. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's also, I mean, if we really think about it, we don't know much of Navarre's history at all. Like,
No.
we just know that 600 years ago, there was the big Great War, whatever it's called, and then there's Navarre,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't like the Griffins, there's the wards, and now we know about the Venin. That's really all we know. We don't know much about this place's lore.
That is true, even though it's like a really, I'm going to say like large geography scale wise,
Yeah.
already built out.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, as people in America, like 600 years isn't like an old country. And like why I said as people in America, I mean, America's only been here for 200 years, so we're in a very baby country. But even then, like 600 years is still young.
Yeah, the United States is a child compared to like, I mean,
it's like
Canada,
a
Mexico,
fetus.
even they're probably just older. It's okay.
And it's like compared to like Europe and Russia, and like you know, it's, I mean, like literally like a fetus. That's nothing. Like it's so young.
Yeah, compared to other parts of the world, it is quite young, which is very similar in terms of age-wise, but also very interesting to note that when Violet brings that up, it does have that almost like guilt feeling, because she does really still want us to tell Yesenia that it's not a debate, but she is hesitant because she trusted Dane before, which is somebody that she thought that she could trust through childhood. But then all of a sudden she can't because he's a dirty, dirty little thief. A little memory thief, that is. And that's who Ashley loves.
He's just trying to protect her. What are you gonna say? Like, imagine a man that would go to the lengths of stealing your memories to protect you, to make sure that you're okay and not putting yourself in danger.
I mean, could just ask, could just have a conversation, could just communicate. Crazy. I know it's a crazy, crazy thought.
When you said that, like, because I'm so used to only having one earbud in when we do these podcasts. And when she said that, I have headphones on. This is the first episode we have headphones on. And it was so clear and like so like the audio quality was so good. It was like really funny. I was like, wow, like it's so like good, and you're just saying like the thief. I was like, what is happening? I'm not used to being able to hear you in this good of quality.
I love that Ashley now finds me funny when she can hear me.
It was just so funny because I'm so used to hearing it not that, like, it's normally in one ear.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's
really
true.
It was very funny. It was like a surround sound, man. It was Anyway, so Yesenia asks Violet for help, actually. So now it's Violet helping Yesenia instead of the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I was like, I forgot what they were. I forgot what she was asking for help with. I remember now. So Yesenia asks Violet for help. And she, because Violet was trained as a scribe, she knows how to translate languages and stuff. And so Yesenia asks if she can help translate 2 lines from this thing and like don't tell anybody because this is very like illegal student wise, like she can't, this is cheating.
Yes, technically it is cheating, but I think it's more cheating because Yesenia knows her end goal.
Yeah.
And she would want to be able to do her end goal on her own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she's trying to translate it from Old Lucerish.
Yes.
Just one of the old, like, ancient languages, I feel like, was just a fun little thing to put into the podcast. Because I feel like there's probably so many little languages, and what if it's important later on? We don't know.
I'm sure that it is.
At some point.
But also, 1,000 years ago, language evolves quite a bit. If you think about other languages and how long they have evolved for thousands of years and how it's changed over time.
Yeah. Yeah, because like there's this like one person on TikTok that they will like take a word that we know is like egg, and they'll like take it back like 1,000 years, and you're like try to figure out, but it starts 1,000 years ago, and try to figure it out until you get to like egg. It's really interesting, like even just 1,000 years, how different English was. And you know, any language 1,000 years ago, but I personally know English, so that was my example.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the book that she asked to help translate was dated 25 years ago, and they're trying to work on in like the archives, and like the scribes are working on translating all of the older books into common language for easier access and reading,
which I am a fan of, but it's so interesting that they already have a book from 25 years ago of a history for 1,000 years ago that they're now re-updating. Like, so the language changed over 25 years. Like, that language kind of died out.
That is a little weird. Because it would make sense if it died out in the Great War. But why did it die out within 25 years? That's a bit weird. Like, and it's old Lucerish. Like, it's not, just Lucerish. It's like old. It says old in it, like capital old. So, like, it's known as an old language. So how did it change in 25 years? Shut up, Kaylee.
Are you sure? Ashley, are you sure that it's old? Are you sure it's capital O old?
It's like old language. Anyway, in 25 years, how is that already considered the old language? Because it's old.
Also, I wonder if that was just a language that mostly the upper class, rich people and royalty knew.
That's possible.
But I mean, they still have like a king and everything now.
Yeah.
So they still have like a class system.
Yeah. Which I want to know a little bit more about. Like, how does this country run? I know there's a king, and then you have like the war generals, but I mean we only see in Best Gaiath, really.
Yeah, because we see from Violet's perspective.
Yeah, and if she doesn't know it, we're not going to know it. Which I do really like how it's like, it is fun to get from like one character's perspective, because then you're learning as they're learning, so it's a lot more showing than telling.
Which is, I think, one of the things that makes this book so fun.
And I don't think this book would have worked as well if it was in third perspective. Oh my god, what's it called? Third person.
There it is. Good job, Ashley.
If it was in third person, I don't think it'd be as good as it is in first person.
I agree. I think that that's what makes this book more charming, because we get to see Violet so intimately.
Mm-hmm.
Yesenia also offers, if Violet ever wants to study or talk or get any specific books out, to stop by on Sundays, because Yesenia is working more alone and the archives is pretty empty, and the most convenient without as many watching eyes. Because also Yesenia is feeling uneasy about a lot of things, and her suspicion is proven correct when all of a sudden from across the courtyard they hear screaming, and it is a rider being drugged away by
Infantry?
yes. Mm,
Mm.
higher ups.
Screams at a second year from third being dragged across the building, but between two older riders, followed by Markham.
Okay.
Yeah, so the two older riders, not infantry, is following or is
Yes.
dragging this second year from third wing out, and Markham is following them, and Yesenia goes like pale and is hiding in the shadows and hiding in the trees, and is like, oh, like I recorded the request from that rider yesterday, and I have to record the request because it's regulation.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, I need to go. Like, she's like, oh, like that was my fault. Like that was me.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
And she feels extremely guilty about that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, who wouldn't? Is
Yeah.
seeing, like, as a scribe, they don't see any type of combat or war often. And so to see that outward, quote unquote, like, act of violence is still very jarring for them.
Yeah. And
but Violet does ask, what book was it?
Yeah. And she says, oh, I can't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And
She
Violet
keeps it a secret.
Mm-hmm. And Violet does kind of start realizing, oh, like my little research project might be a lot bigger and more dangerous than I thought. Like this is big. Like I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want Yosemite to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And if Violet gets in trouble, the entire marked ones are going to get in trouble.
Yes, somehow there's going to be a tie-in,
Memory readers like Dane. And so then
they're going into class where they had to make maps and things like that, and Sawyer is struggling, and they're all kind of like joking around, and they're like, why did you not just ask Riddick?
Yeah,
because I guess Riddick is amazing at land maps,
which good for him.
I just find that such an interesting skill for Riddick to have, because he's just he's just a silly little goofy little guy.
And it's like he very much is the comic relief of the book.
He absolutely
100% is. And so it is fun to kind of get like little bits and pieces more of his like personality. He's like, oh, like you're good at making maps, and like we know, like making maps, that's gonna have to come into play at some point.
Absolutely. Not only that, is just even being able to read a land map from the sky probably is a good idea. As writers, because they're not, on the ground looking at trees or things like that. They're seeing it from the sky. So I'm sure that that's going to be helpful in the long run, even on the back of a dragon.
Yeah, because I know that I would get, depending if like I knew the area very well, I would get very confused if I was flying a dragon. I was like overhead, like where? And,
Mm-hmm.
like, because that is so different from looking at a map like street view than overhead
Yeah.
view. And mail gets delivered while they're there, and so people are really excited. And Violet gets a letter, and she's like, "Ooh," like, and getting really excited. And she does acknowledge, she's like, "I can't help the disappointment when I realize it's Mira instead of Zayden."
I think that I find it funny and silly, like how often she really is in that push pull with herself. I love you. I don't love you. I love you. I don't love you. Very
Yeah,
much like in that frame of mind of what's, going on, what's happening. I
yeah,
kind of love him, but I feel like I can't.
yeah, yeah. I do. I do. I think it is. It's fun. I would hate to be her, but it's fun to read. Like it's kind of fun. Like I like her trying to keep her boundaries and like trying to keep herself accountable. Like, hey, like I know you want him, but like he's not giving you what you want yet. So like, stop. Hold. It's hard, but hold your ground.
I
And
mean,
like that push
especially
pull of
because
like, oh,
this is such a
should I
big
not?
boundary for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, like I've said before, I do believe the boundary is so big with Zayden, and why she's having such a hard time with it from him is because her entire world just got thrown up, like upside down. And her
Mm-hmm.
best friend that she thought she could trust, she can't. And so now she's just like, I need the truth from one person. Just everything. Like, just trying to ground herself in the truth, and she can't with anybody. And she's having a really hard time with that.
I definitely understand that about not being able to ground yourself in the truth, but at the same time, I think that also comes in the idea of self-confidence too, that you need to trust yourself and be able to be secure in the
Yeah.
information that you know and not lean or depend on somebody else's information to ground yourself in.
I agree with that. I think that this, like, in her situation is it's hard to find the information herself so she can have
Mm-hmm.
more confidence in it, and she just learned about it, so she's trying to get more information.
Especially because she used to be a scribe.
Yeah. Like, she knew a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Like, when she was anxious, like, when she was crossing the parapet, she was reciting scribe things to calm her. It was a very, very big thing she did for I'd say the first half of the first book. And so now, like, all of that information, for the most part, is, like, wrong.
Yeah.
And so, like, her grounding in the truth that she knew for so many years is no longer applicable.
Mm-hmm.
Which that would suck. Like, imagine losing your like, and there's different ways to ground yourself when you're anxious, but imagine losing the one thing that's like, okay, this really helps, and now you're like, well, I can't do that anymore. Like, what am I supposed to do now? I mean, that would be a bit anxiety inducing. Even if you know other ways to ground yourself, losing the big one would be quite hard.
Yeah, losing that support system is always difficult because now you're really trying to figure out who am I, who are they,
Mm-hmm.
and where is this going?
Yeah.
And Ree is there handing her the letter and she's like, "Oh, a little disappointed there." And she's like, do you want to talk about it? Are you guys okay?" And Violet just tries to pivot.
Well, she does also kind of say, like, this is somewhat of a truth I can give her. Like, I can say, hey, like, we're not doing
Mm-hmm.
too great. Like, this is something I can give her, and I need to give her something. And, so she does admit that Zayden and her, like, aren't doing too good. And Ree kind of interprets that as Zayden is cheating. and is very much like, I will help annihilate that shadow wielding asshole if he cheated on you, like, and like going off, and she's like, no, 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 it's nothing like that. He just kept like the truth from me, and he's like, cheating. I'm like, no, I am not. It's fine. He is not cheating. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, okay, guys, breathe.
I still love that even though Violet isn't necessarily giving her everything, that Ree is still willing to go up to bat for her and to protect her friend fiercely.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's like, and there was no hesitation. It was just, he's cheating. Let's go kill him. I'm like, woo. Let's get more information first. Like,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like, be that protective. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Stand up for your best friends. I agree. It was just fun to read. And I thought
I loved it.
It was so good. And, then Violet, after she kind of, because then Ree is starting to ask, like, oh, like, what happened? What is he not telling you? And then she's like, oh, like, it's just hard because he's so far away, and kind of starts pivoting the conversation. And then she does turn it to, like, oh, like, how are you and Tara doing? And Ree's like, oh, I don't have time for Tara because I'm a squad leader, so she is a lot more responsibility, and Tara doesn't have time for her, so it's like vice versa. And so they're free to see whoever they want.
Yeah. So sad.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Ree, if you look at it, has a very interesting dynamic with a lot of people, but Tara is the one that is mentioned the most out of all of the relationships that we've seen so far within the first and the second book with Ree.
And so I really loved how when we realized that Sawyer walked out of the bedroom with Ree, both, because Kaylee and I were like together at that point, and we both looked at each other and was like, wait a minute, like, did we hear, we re-listened to it like 3 times.
I found that so interesting, especially because it was so early on in the book and it was right there.
It was right there.
Very casually said. Also, did we notice that she walked out of the room with Riddick in the morning when they came in the beginning of this book?
I mean, good for her and good for them. Like, good for them. But it is just really funny because, now that we've gotten to kind of know the squad a bit better, it's just so interesting. Because it's like, in my head, I see them a lot more as like a friend dynamic. And so it's just so funny to hear them sleeping around in the friend group, which I know happens in friend groups sometimes, but it's just so interesting. It's so funny. Because we didn't catch it the first time we read through. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, how did we not realize this?
How did we not realize this?
Literally. Have we? Oh, okay. No, I'm confusing myself on the timeline. We're on to the offers hookups. Continue. I'm so sorry. So, please continue. I'll say it quietly. Okay. Just listen to you for a little bit.
As Ree is, still trying to connect with Violet, as Violet is very much trying to redirect the conversation, it does ask if she's doing okay, just in terms of things. And Violet is just shrugging it off still, and then as she's doing that, she's opening the letter and then realizes that part of this letter is redacted, and which is crazy because none of this is, I believe, her first letter in like second year, because now they can get letters.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's wondering, is everybody else's letters redacted as well? Is it just mine who's doing this?
Yeah, and
Is
that's
it
also a huge invasion of privacy.
huge?
Like, they
But
opened her letter, read
mhm.
it, redacted it.
And then
And
resealed it like it hadn't been redacted.
yeah, yeah. It's so interesting. So interesting.
It's very interesting. And not only that is, big question circulating in her mind. Who could this be? Is it Melgrim? Is it Atos? Is it Varish? Is it even her mom?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, what did Mira say?
Mm-hmm.
She knows that Mira's going to Athbean now.
Yeah. But that's all, like, and it was just, like, catching up, like, oh my gosh, I'm excited you could read letters, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's like we find out she's going to Athbean. That's kind of it. Like, it's not a lot of information because it was redacted. So it is
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. And, like, how is that important in the sense of, like, why did they redact that? Because Mira doesn't know anything. She's not a part of the marked ones. It's like not like Zayden. Like getting
Mm-hmm.
a letter from Zayden and redacting it makes a lot more sense than Mira, who's been a faithful follower and faithful, like, her mother,
Mm-hmm.
like, listening and, doing what they're told. And so I think it's
Exactly.
very interesting that hers was redacted as well. So, like, what did she have to say that was so important?
I agree, because what was it? Was it something about Athbean? Was it something about why she was going there? Was it something? But also, you give a fair point. It is their side. Why would they redact that?
But I do wonder if it's redacted so then she couldn't give the information to Zayden. Because they know now. And so, like, I wonder if it's taking important information out from their side so it doesn't get spread to, like, the Griffins or something because they know Violet knows at that point.
That's true. I guess we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
But everybody's getting their letters and they're so excited. And Riddick actually just casually mentions it to Violet that Kaori thinks that he spotted another black dragon in the Vale
Mm-hmm.
and asked if she knew anything about it.
Yeah.
And she said no, because she does know, obviously, who it is.
Yeah. But as I know, it's been said throughout the book and stuff, it's dragon secrets aren't hers to tell. Like, they're not people's to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she can't say, oh yeah, I know that dragon, blah blah blah. It's no, that's not my place to tell.
Exactly. And speaking of the higher ups, Varish is coming up, and Taryn kind of gives her a little warning, especially because they are talking about this dragon that's in the Vale that they want to see or get to interact with. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's the right word or the right wording to say, to interact with. And Varish comes up and is like, I've been looking for you, Sorengale. And that's a really nice necklace you have on. And I love the retort that Violet gives. She's like, thank you. It was expensive. It cost somebody their life.
What a great response to that. Like, 10 out of 10.
But also crazy that he would even say that, because referring to the bruises around her neck when she almost got strangled and almost died and watched somebody else get killed. And she also killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the little jabs.
Yeah. Like, all over the place.
Especially with Varish, I find that to be a very large motif, that he is very wants to provoke her.
Mm-hmm. He wants to get her mad, then kind of push the buttons is a nice way of putting it. And, continuing to push on her buttons, it's like, oh, I guess you're used to squeaking by barely alive, considering how frail and fragile everybody keeps saying you are. Which, again, so interesting that that's still something. Like, even, I mean, she's a second year now. Like, it's still being said. So, like, enough where he knows about it, too.
It's also so interesting that it's still being said when she came back alive.
Mm-hmm.
She also, did bond 2 dragons.
Yeah.
It's interesting that also Varys is starting to talk about Andarna and starts asking questions about Andarna.
Mm-hmm.
And Taryn is getting visibly upset.
Yeah. Yeah. And, he does say, he's like, oh, this one has always had a temper. And it's like, well, he likes his space. Because, Varys is, like, in their space now. Because Taryn's kind of over her in a way, like, just protecting her. And, Varys does also comment, because now, like, Taryn is growling and protective. And Varys is like, oh, it looks like he also likes you to have your space, too.
Which, very valid. I kind of like my space, too.
And so, after saying, like, oh, like, he likes you to have your space, he also does say, like, oh, like, how does it feel that Taryn gives you the easier path than your other cadets? And, she does kind of say, like, oh, I feel pretty good about it. I guess it just takes one bad-tempered dragon to keep the others civil.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially because she's already been insulted so much in this conversation.
So much.
And that's the one thing that she can give, because Taryn is the only dragon that can really keep Solus kind of in line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, like, yes, he's giving her an easier path, but, like, not really. Like, in some ways, I guess, but he's just being more, like, he's a very understanding and empathetic dragon. Where I feel like a lot of other dragons aren't. Like, how, like, in Threshing, they'll fall off their back, and how Violet was about... No, Violet did fall. He caught her and then held her on with magic. Like, dragons don't do that. So he is a very understanding and empathetic dragon.
I would definitely agree.
So I'd say, like, in that sense, she does have it easier, because he's there. You know what I mean? Like, in that sense. But, I mean, still being a dragon rider seems really hard.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, sorry, man. Just the fact that she's able to do it.
Good for her.
Good for her.
But Varys does, at the end of this conversation, demand. I'm going to say it like that. Demand. That Andarna comes to the next flight training.
Mm-hmm. And, then we get, again, dragons don't listen to humans. Like, that's just not how this works. And dragons don't take orders from humans. And, Varys does say, well, of course not, but you do, don't you? Which, what a response. And that just puts Violet in such an interesting situation. Like, that's not her... Like, it's bending around the dragons don't take orders from people. Like, this isn't obviously, this is not a fair transaction happening. And Andarna does wake up, and she does say, but it would be fun to watch him, referring to Taryn, eat the pompous one.
I kind of agree, though. It would be fun to watch him eat the pompous one.
And so then Varys kind of starts mentioning Violet's father, and how Violet and her dad was or just her dad, but her dad was researching feather tails, and he says, oh, like, it's ironic that his daughter is the one who bonded a feather tail. And Violet does say, like, what you meant to say was incidental, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, he's kind of pushing a little bit about it. And Violet does ask, like, hey, did you know anything about my dad's research? And Taryn says, no, like, I don't know anything about your father's research. And Adana goes quiet.
I find that interesting that does happen.
Yeah, for sure. And then after that, Barish does. Like, it was kind of like the end of that conversation, and just kind of ended with, make sure you bring Andarna next week or you'll see what happens. And then we learn that in second year, the thing that a main goal that they want to take out of like the flight training and stuff is running dismounts. And Dane does it, and he does it perfectly. It's like, okay, this is what you need to be able to do by the end of this year. And Taryn immediately is like, you're not doing that. Like, immediately, no. And Violet's like, well, too bad, we have to. And the teacher very much is like, you have to do it this way, otherwise you're going to die. And Violet's like, that also cannot happen. So they're going to have to find a way to, like, adapt and kind of figure out how to do this best for Violet. And Bodhi was there as well. And was kind of saying, like, oh yeah, like, just, you'll be fine. Just figure it out.
Yeah, don't worry too much about it. You'll figure it out. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Breathe a little bit, and then does kind of mention that Violet does have people in her corner, and kind of just says, it'd be nice if you guys could get back together.
Yeah.
Just because it's getting awkward, and he really does care about you. And he's never cared about anybody like this before. Not even Kat.
And this is now happening when they're walking for Violet to leave that night.
Yes.
To go see Xaden. Specifically. And he is like, yeah, like, and he mentions Kat, who we have not heard of yet. But
no, we have not.
And Violet's like, who is Kat? Immediately, who is this?
Who is this?
Yeah. And, and she is telling him a little bit about her research that she's done. And she's like, yeah, the only thing that I've learned is that the first writers were not the 6 that we've heard so much about, but they were just the first to survive.
Which is interesting to think about, that they were not the first 6 writers. They were just the first 6 writers to survive and write about it. But I feel like that's so often how history actually goes.
Yeah. For sure. And then Taryn appears, and hold up. We need to talk about one of Kaylee's favorite things, and I'm going to let Kaylee take the mic here and tell you about one of her favorite things, and she's going to go off, and it's going to be great because she loves it so much, and it says it in the note of how much she loves this. Kaylee, the floor is yours.
The way Ashley painted it is going to make me sound like a crazy person. That was insane. Okay.
No, okay, I didn't mean that.
Bodhi is saying...
I just meant you find this scene funny.
I do. I find the scene funny, and I do kind of wish that she would have written it out a little bit. Bodhi is talking about how they're all struggling, and they're all dealing with different attacks throughout their day, that Violet is not the only one being targeted, that he does think that everybody is being targeted. I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing because of the way that Ashley described it.
I'm so sorry.
It just...
Okay, I can rephrase. Kaylee finds this scene amusing because it is actually really funny. It's just the way that it is worded and how Bodhi says it.
He's really proud of it.
He's so proud of it, and it's so funny.
He does say that he fought off somebody in the bathroom butt naked, and they had like this whole fight, and he was like so proud of himself. He's like, yeah, and I only got one scar. Isn't that so cool? And okay, offhanded tangent. I don't know if anybody out there watches an anime called Baki, but if you know, then you probably know the scene that I'm referencing. And that's why I was like, why did she not just write that scene? It's been done in other media before. Because that's kind of the thing that popped into my head, specifically when referencing that. And so I found that quite interesting. All right, we're done with that side tangent. But if you guys watch the show, I'm sure that you know specifically what scene I'm talking about in that season.
I have not seen the show. I apologize, so I cannot join in the reference.
Ashley does not like the beefcakes, I guess. Ashley is not a fan of the beefcakes, and that's okay.
I've seen one anime fully through.
Yeah, which is wild.
Wild. I've tried so hard to get into anime, man. It just would not click. And then I watched Full Metal Alchemist. It's
Brotherhood. Specifically Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
All right. I was like, yes. Before anybody like hops on those comments.
I've seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and that was a great show. I mean, that was great.
Amazing. Yeah.
And so I want to get into anime and like watch more different animes, but I don't know it as well. Like, I just don't know. I have not been a part of that, like, part of society. That
yes,
you know, so I just don't know.
are now a different society.
You are. You're your own society. So if anybody has any recommendations, let me know.
Yeah.
I know Kaylee's now going to give me a giant list of them. So
I mean, I think that it's laughable that she doesn't remember that I have given her a giant list already.
No, you have.
Multiple lists. I've given her multiple lists.
You need to write them down for me.
I have. I've texted them to you.
I need to go through our text messages then, apparently.
Yeah, probably like over a year ago. Good luck finding that.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. We don't. But it's the funniest part is we don't text that often, but we do at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, we text like at least 3 times a week.
We good?
Wouldn't you say?
You cut out what?
At least 3 times a week.
At least 3 times a week. We do call more than we text. It's just so much more convenient.
It is.
Unless it's a little thing. Then it's like, oh, oh, you're ready to film. That we don't need to call for that. But
yeah, we don't need a call for that.
Do we anyway? Sometimes.
You know, it's fun.
Yeah. But now let's get back from the side tangents that very much went off just there. And so Violet's, they're talking about this and he's like, God damn, like I only have a bruise to show for it. Like maybe we'll get a scar. Like this sucks. And then Violet again mentions Kat, like, okay, but we need to circle back. And who is Kat? And then Varish ends up walking over with 2 other lieutenants that are above Xaden, about Mira's level. And it says, oh, like, we need to delay your leave. We need to check your bags. Like, we need to go through your bags. And Varish is like, oh, you're dismissed. I don't remember Bodhi's last name, but you're dismissed, Bodhi. And Bodhi ends up using the Codex to stay with her, like, oh, as her section leader or something. Like, in Article 1, Section 2, like, whatever it is, he ends up being able to stay with her. And Varish is going through her bags and he doesn't find anything. And Varish does openly say, like, the punishment is starting. Or, like, she thinks it. And
because of how, like, intense they're searching her bags. This isn't like I put your bag on the ground and I'm gonna like rifle through it. And no, they just like open it up and like dump it out.
Again, so much personal privacy is gone. Like I would you're opening her mail and you're literally dumping her shit on the floor. Like how shitty. Like that's no.
Especially the moment that they did it, she was like, "Oh, so much for a pair of clean clothes when I land."
Yeah, because now it's all dirty. It's in the, and it's like,
Yeah.
was it gonna be that dirty if it fell on like grass? No, but still, like, just that was clean. Like, I just washed that. I was excited to have clean clothes.
Do you think? I'm sorry. Do you think that the flight field is grass?
I think it depends on where you are on the flight field.
Because
I feel like I feel like there's like a like the dirt. I guess like if you're thinking of it like a running like a oh my god airplanes where they take off and land runway.
okay.
Like I feel like there's like a dirt runway, but then like the sides are like grass.
Okay.
How do you see it?
I kind of imagined it more like patchy grass, not like a
Yeah.
lot of grass, but I'm also questioning the idea of a bunch of dragons being around grass and fire.
Mm. But I know that Andana rolls in the grass at
That's
some
true.
point when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
But-
It could be patchy grass. Like it's not like luscious green grass. Like it is patchy grass, but there is like that runway of dirt. That is like a walkway or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like they could have probably thrown it on that. Like disgusting.
Mm-hmm. But still, your things are being rifled through and you're not able to say or do anything about it because this is the commanding officer of one of the commanding officers of Besgaeth itself, not just like a peer.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, you can tell he's also like disappointed he didn't find anything, and it's like, you're good to go. And so they end up walking away, and Bodhi admits he's like, okay, that's what I thought would happen. And she does say, she's like, stop using me as a game piece, Bodhi. Like, I know my shielding like I know I can't shield very well, but like my shielding ability is no excuse to put me into something unprepared.
Which I absolutely agree with, because it's so hard when you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in that situation.
And so then, she gets on Taryn and they're getting like, Taryn's like, come on, let's go. I'm ready to leave. And, he does say, he's like, well, good thing he didn't check me, because Taryn has bags on him and they didn't check him.
Yeah, because he's going to carry a shipment over.
And that's where chapter 11 ends, and we're going into chapter 12.
Yes, we are going into chapter 12, and she makes it to the outposts. Not surprising. She made it.
Wow. I thought she'd get lost and, have to go on this giant long training journey and hike to get there.
You're right. It makes it to the outpost, and she feels the difference in the wards. She openly says, like, the wards feel stronger. There's more of, like, that presence that you feel around the wards there comparatively to Besgaeth, especially because this is one of the furthest most front lines of outposts. I don't know how else to say that.
Like it's on the border almost. Like it's very close to, if not on the border. So it's about to be outside the ward. So it is interesting that the wards are stronger there, but maybe it's just stronger at the end than in the middle.
I mean, it would make sense, like, if you think about a fence. No, like, actually,
it would make
like,
sense if you think about a fence.
It would, like, just think about, like, a fence going around you in a circle, and you standing in the middle and throwing something at the fence. You're like, oh wow, the fence is so far away, I can't even reach it. And then you get to the, like, I can't feel it, and then you get close to the fence and you're like, wow, the fence looks actually really strong, and I probably can't climb that fence like I thought I could when I was in the center.
Well, thank you. That was a great description. I understand it so much more now. Thank you. That is exactly what I needed.
I didn't know if you knew how fences work, Ashley.
Nope, I don't.
I thought...
I've never seen a fence in my entire life. What's a fence?
I mean, you live in Michigan. Have you seen people's backyard fences? No.
No,
because they don't
actually.
have them.
No, they don't. It's actually quite strange.
That's what I mean.
It's so weird. They also don't have sidewalks, and that's a whole nother thing. I could talk about the differences between Michigan and California for like an entire podcast. But so they get there, and Taryn just goes off. He's like, be safe, and like goes off to go find Sigale and do his own thing with her. And so Violet's like, oh, like I feel Xaden's bond. And so she's like, okay, like trying to follow it, and she follows it. And she finds him in the basement, but his bond is so shut. Like his shields are up. That's what it's called. Like very much up. And Violet does say that Xaden is attractive while fighting. Please say it better. I can't.
Like, first of all, sorry.
No, please don't say it like that again.
She finds herself in the basement where she sees them, Fight Club style, fighting in a ring, shirtless, sweaty, finger licking hot. I had to say it like that, guys, because I said that earlier. It just really bothers Ashley.
We're prepping and she said that. And again, with the headphones, it's in such good quality. I have to hear it in both ears now.
It's just the fact that Ashley gets so red. She didn't even say it. But the fact that Ashley is so red right now, it makes everything better for me. Violet is just still drooling over this man. Very attractive. I mean, how could you not?
I was going to say, would you not be doing the same thing?
No, I probably would be. But I would admit it.
That is true.
I think that would be the difference. I would admit it, and I'd be like, damn, that was hot.
And she ends up kind of going to this bar, and there's this person there. I think it's a bar. And
yeah, it's like
a bar-esque thing.
I don't know if it's a bar, but I think it's just like a railing around the cage.
Yeah. And she is talking with her, and she's having a really hard time staying on topic with her because she's so distracted by Xaden.
Mm-hmm.
And she does mention, she's like, yeah, this love is toxic. This isn't healthy.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, is this toxic?
Which I find it interesting that she says that now, because she is watching him fight and she's realizing how attracted she is to him. But at the same time, she's over here really concerned about his safety. At the same time, she's like, I don't want to see him get hurt. I don't like to see him like this. Because even though, yeah, it's attractive to see him like this, it's not fun emotionally to see him like this, because I have anxiety about whether or not he's going to get hurt, whether or not he's going to be okay. Why is he even doing this? And she does find out that he's doing it to get a single day off with her.
Yeah.
Because the person that she's having this conversation with openly says, I think the other guy's going to is going to win. Mm-hmm. And the rule here is that everybody gets certain days off, and if you want it, you have to fight for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what they're doing. And
he's fighting for the entire weekend. Oh.
Yes. Xaden does win, but only takes one day, and does tell him that the other officer that he can have the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very clear that it's only to spend that single day with Violet.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, kind of sweet.
Yeah. I'd say it is sweet.
It's kind of sweet. Yes, is he a liar? For sure. Has he kept things from her? Definitely.
Absolutely.
But he still goes out of his way to make time for her? Damn. Okay.
Yeah, and, as this is happening, she got the horny brain on now because shirtless Aiden, and she finds how.
It's hot. It's sweaty.
Thank you.
You know.
The asexual over here, like, I just sit here. And she does say, she's like, it doesn't matter if you hurt me or doesn't trust me. I don't know if I trust him. Like, it doesn't matter in this moment. I just want him physically. And I was like, that isn't healthy. That is toxic.
Definitely not.
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10 would never recommend.
You don't sleep with someone if you don't trust them or if he hurt you or doesn't trust you.
Valid.
It seems so. It's fine. It just seems so. I don't know. Because just attraction isn't a thing for me, and so it's like I don't get that. I'm like, why would I don't understand? But okay, it's okay. Do what you want to do, but I just don't understand. Like, but be safe.
I mean, in a way, I do think that Violet is somewhat on a demisexual scale because she openly said in the beginning, in the other book, I don't know if I can separate physical things from emotional things.
That is true.
And the reason why I say it like that is because she emotionally built that bond with him so much within the beginning before they kind of started having sex. Like,
that's true. But she definitely still has that, like, attraction. Like, she was attracted to him within the first bit, and she is attracted to other people. But I do agree. It's like, oh, like, I can't separate emotions from sex.
I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's not for everybody. But if it works out, then it works out. And if it doesn't, then that is going to be, like Xaden and Violet, a conversation that you're going to need to have.
Yes, I agree.
Just in general, you know.
And they do end up kissing. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Kaylee for this part because I'm just going to blow through it because I just... Kaylee, just take the mic.
They do kiss. Ashley's note was they kiss like losers.
I did. That is what I wrote.
Because the conversation is coming up, and obviously they are both attracted to each other. The kiss isn't happening because Violet is the only one attracted. I want to make that very, very clear that Xaden is also attracted. This is a very consensual kiss.
Yes.
But it also comes up that they are good together physically, but they also can be good together emotionally and mentally if they worked on that. And he pulls back and asks her, like, oh, is there any questions you want to ask? And she kind of deflects and is just like, why am I the only one expected to ask all of these questions? How am I supposed to, like, pull those questions from thin air? And he says, we need to stop because I feel like this is going to go more than just a kiss. And you
she
don't
does
want
say,
that.
Yeah, because she does say when they first start kissing, what would you say if I said you can only kiss me? Like, no further than kissing. And he's like, I won't be able to keep your only kissing rule.
Yeah. Which is honest, valid. But I was like, they're both horny, okay?
Yes, they are.
That's what this book is. It's fine. And, you know, if it makes everybody feel better, so is Taryn and Sigale. So.
That is true.
We just don't get to talk about it as much.
We do for one chapter. That chapter still is so funny to me.
Brilliant. Loved it.
It's so good. It's so good.
But he is really making a plea for her. Making a plea for if this is what you want, then let's keep it this way. He is telling her how much he needs her, because in his reality, he does need her like his next breath.
Yeah.
In his reality, he is wanting to change for her and her boundaries. And I think, and he does acknowledge that he was an asshole.
Yeah.
he
and he
does
says
say
he knows I know that I was, an asshole, and it's this is me trying to change. I'm trying to do better for you. Like I'm trying.
Exactly. And as the conversation goes on, she's realizing kind of just wants to do it for the sex. And she mentions something like that. And he does say, I will not use sex as a tool to get you back. Which I think is...
That's a great line.
Aw, that's so sweet. Okay.
But I also like that because he knows that would be a way to get her back. Like, that'd be the easy way. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I want to be able to build this relationship on, like, a solid foundation, not just sex. Like, I know that's the easy ticket, and I can't do that again. Because that's kind of what he did in the beginning.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they both did. And then they
absolutely
got hurt because they realized that they didn't really know each other.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, one of the biggest things. Like, if you don't know each other, then it's easy to get hurt that way. But once you know each other and build that trust. And I love that Xaden was like, I am not here to win the battle. I'm here to win the war.
Yeah.
And for Violet, because he was telling her that if you want this, you need to tell me what I want to hear. And then for her, it clicked that he doesn't want to hear her say that she wants him. He wants her to say that she loves him.
Yeah.
And
it's...
that's the part where, we saw this end of last book and beginning of these beginning of this book, that she's like, I'll never love you again. I don't love you.
Yeah. And I will like to say, it is very interesting and how she does say, it's like, oh, like, remember, Kaylee's dying. Remember last year of how we said we could separate, like, the physical from the emotional? Like, we could do sex without the emotion. And he was like, I don't think I could do that anymore. Like, they swapped roles in that sense.
Yes, which, I mean, hard not to, when somebody says, let's build like an emotional and physical connection, and now they're like, the one that wanted that in the beginning is now pulling back and is saying, I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
So it is hard, but I also feel like it's valid for her to not want that anymore.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, because after he says, like, he's trying to change for her because of her boundaries and everything like that, she's like, okay, so then are you willing to tell me everything yet? And he's like, you need to trust me for this to work, even with secrets. And then she's like, that's not going to happen. And he's like, it will.
Just the confidence that he says that with is a little like, that right there is like, you can see where Xaden is toxic, because he is like that almost overly confident guy that will try to gaslight you, for lack of better terms, into thinking that it's okay when, those actions aren't necessarily excusable.
Yeah.
But from a character's perspective, I can see why he would say that, because I believe his next line is, "You didn't fall in love with just any other old writer. You fell in love with the leader of a revolution." And anybody who is in leadership or is in government or is in anything, they all have secrets. There's all something going around that their spouses can't know because it's confidential.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's never been a role that Violet has ever seen herself stepping into before.
Yeah, it's very different for her. Because normally, like, as much as her mom was secretive and things like that, and, like, not really there, because she was raised as a scribe, she knew everything. Yeah. And so this is just a very different situation, and she very much feels out of control. Which, again, as we've stated, and how I've stated many a times, her world was flipped upside down. So, like, very, on top of being out of control in this situation, not knowing, very much out of control just in general. And so, you know, they end up going back to their room, or sorry, his room, and they're talking about the alloys and, like, the daggers, and he does say it's like the metal in the hilt is the alloy. They don't channel magic, but they're able to hold magic. So we're getting a little bit more information of how, like, these daggers work and how do these, like, protect us? I'm confused.
Yeah, and how they actually kill the venom. Like, why does a regular knife not kill venom, but these daggers can, because they hold magic in them.
Yeah, and they can only hold so much. Like, you have to recharge them. So, like, it will drain. You have to kind of, like, fill them back up.
Which is so interesting that you have to, like, charge them up. And I'm like, okay, just put them in the moonlight and dance in a circle, guys.
Like, that'd be so funny though. Imagine, like, all of like the writers just, like, in a circle dancing around them. Stop, that'd be so funny.
I mean, the moment that she said it, I was like, oh, so I guess the daggers are just crystals?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, that's how I interpreted it. Like, there's, like, a crystal in the dagger.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And then we do actually find out that they haven't always been daggers. And so Xaden does say, like, my guess is Melgren had a vision of how a battle was supposed to turn out and go, and that's why they're made into daggers now.
Which is so interesting. I wonder, like, when... I mean, obviously it was further back, but when did Melgren think this large battle was supposed to hit if they've been using and forging the daggers for a bit now?
And also, if this government doesn't believe about the venom and anything like that, why do they have these? And, like, why are they producing them?
Exactly.
Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Just a little thought for everybody. And so then, you know, it's like, oh, you put the alloy into the daggers and you get a venom killer. And he's like, well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's, like, the basics.
Yeah.
And, you know, then they're kind of talking, and she's like, what do you think came first, the wards or the ability to boost them? And he does say, like, oh, that's all classified. And she, you know, is like, come on, man. Like, I want to know this information. And so then he goes, okay, so let's work on your shields, because Dane won't care how tired you are. Because now, like, she's been flying. She's exhausted. And so she's like, I'm tired. Like, do we have to? And he's like, he's not going to care. Like, we need to work on them.
Yeah, because he's a dirty, dirty little memory thief.
It's so wild. I've gotten more used to it now that I've been having them in my ears. Both of my ears. But now that finishes chapter 12. And so that is the last chapter we are covering today. But we are going into our spoiler section. So if you're reading along and doing our little book club side, then this is where spoilers start. So if you care about spoilers, we will see you next week. But if you don't, and you were just coming for the spoiler side, welcome to the spoiler side. We're going to be talking about spoilers for chapters 11 and 12 and how they tie in to the rest of the book and series in general.
Yay, let's fucking go.
It's always so fun here. I mean, it's fun on both sides,
Yeah.
but it is fun to.
Yeah. Would you like
pausing?
to start off with the beginning excerpts for the chapters?
I would love to.
I was like, we normally do it that way anyway.
We do. So the beginning excerpt for chapter 11 is Garrick has always been my best friend. His father was my father's aide, which in a way makes him my Dane, except trustworthy. After Liam, Bodhi was and still is the closest thing I have to a brother, perpetually tagging along a step behind. Recovered correspondence of Lieutenant Zayden Ryerson to Cadet Violet Sorengale, because he writes her letters now.
But also,
I was about to say. Please, you first.
well, they don't tell us when she got this letter. So I don't know if she's gotten a piece of this information yet. Or do you think that this was in the first letter that he wrote her?
I think that these like top excerpts are going to be really, I think they're going to play a huge part in something later on. And like, yes, it's giving us information. And I think it could be from the first letter that he gave her. But also, what if this is from like later on?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just put here because it makes it seem like it was the first letter. Because like, I'm so sorry, Bodhi still is the closest thing I have to a brother. Does anybody recognize this anywhere else? Anywhere else in the series?
Also, the fact that he refers to him as his Dane.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like watching how Violet and Dane's relationship is changing due to the deception, the lies, and the work through.
And also, still is the closest thing I have to a brother, perpetually tagging along a step behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if this was supposed to be late? You know, like, I don't know. This could have been later on. And it's just put here.
Yeah.
Because we know that before Fourth Wing was finished and released, it was greenlit for a show. Or at least it was in talks of getting a show. And so she went and planned, and she was already kind of planning the entire series, but she went and like storyboarded everything, pretty much. Storyboarded a book. And so she knows every big plot point of each book. So I wouldn't be surprised if since she knew that before she finished, like, you know, before Fourth Wing was released, like if she put that in, you know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't shock me since she knew where the series is going, where each book is going. And I do think that's why her foreshadowing is so good, because she knows what's coming up. Like, it is very nicely tied.
She really did storyboard it, and that it's all going to be pretty cohesive for the most part.
Yeah. But I do think I wouldn't be shocked if Bodhi is the brother, especially from that little sentence. I wouldn't be shocked.
No, I don't think so either. I just find it so interesting the way that it's phrased.
Yeah, I agree. And so then, the second beginning excerpt, let me get to it, is, this one is important. Sigale watched me kill another cadet for bullying Garrick during threshing. She says she chose me for my ruthlessness, but I think it's just because I reminded her of my grandfather. And again, recovered correspondence, Lieutenant Zayden Ryerson to Cadet Sorengale. And as we know, dragons aren't supposed to bond in a line. And so they kind of claimed that this was his great uncle, far off, like great uncle that, like, you know, she bonded or something like that. Because they're not supposed to bond in the line, because that can cause, you know, things to happen. Like his second signet. I forgot that we're in the spoiler section. Like a second signet. Like it caused him to have a second signet. Because she bonded in the line. I
don't know if that was like a known factor. Like, is that why? Is that like the main reason why they can't?
I don't know, but I do know that it is stated later on. I forget if it's this book or the next book, that a lot of the Marked One's dragons are bonding in a line, so they're all kind of getting second signets. But I don't know.
second signets, but I thought that
But I do
they
know
didn't-
that
their signets would be stronger.
It
or
could be
something.
so. I do remember Xaden saying, "I kept my mouth shut that I had a second signet. I kept my mouth shut and I just acted like my shadow, like, and I really focused on shadow wielding to make it seem like, oh no, it just all went to shadow. Like I'm just a really strong shadow wielder." Because they caught it with another, like 2 other cadets or something that it happened, and so they really made sure that, and so that Xaden wasn't. So he just poured everything into shadow wielding, and so that's why he hasn't really trained as an intrinsic.
I thought that he didn't know if he was going to be killed
That too.
as an intrinsic. So that's
That
also
too.
like one of the big reasons why he didn't. I don't know. We'll have to get to that part in Onyx Storm because I feel like that's in Onyx.
It's at the end of this book.
There it is. Or end of this book. I don't know. Everything bleeds together at certain points.
That is true. And it's just, all of it kind of gets revealed in one of my favorite chapters or scenes.
Oh, okay.
I do.
So
I really like that
fun.
scene. So you have
So
to stay tuned
fancy.
to see what scene is one of my favorites.
Mhm.
And so in chapter 11, we find out she's not having nightmares, which seems so like non-important. But after we learn about the dream walking in book 3, it seems a little bit significant to me.
It does, especially because I guess the question isn't Darna sleeping at that time? Is that why she didn't get that nightmare? Or did Xaden not dream that dream? Like, did Xaden not get that dream from the sage?
Well, the sage doesn't happen until the next book. Because remember, he's not a Venin yet.
Yeah, but remember he was having the dream before he even turned.
That's true. That is true.
Violet was talking about it like, I keep having this dream, I'm so scared, I'm blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay.
Well, that's in Onyx Storm at the end when we find out everything.
So,
but
yeah.
So it is interesting that she's not having nightmares, and it's what is it correlated to? And it's I think she could have been dreamwalking into Imogen's dream because Imogen says, "Oh, I've been having that dream too." And so I'm wondering if she's dreamwalking into Imogen because she's right above her. It's really close, you know? So I'm just wondering if that's what it is. And so maybe Imogen didn't have the nightmare, so she didn't have the nightmare.
Unfortunately, we don't get that information.
I wish we did. I wish they talked about it. That would have been so, oh, I didn't have that, or something. Like, just a very offhanded thing. She's very good at that, like writing the offhanded things.
She is, especially because the other offhanded thing that she wrote was that when Yesenia comes, the book that Yesenia is translating is, 25 years old, but was retranslated.
From the old language?
Yeah, from an old language to this one. But why, if they could still read old
Lucerish? It looks like Lucian. So I kept going Lucenish or something.
I feel like they were pronouncing that wrong.
Probably. We pronounce a lot of things wrong.
I know. It's a big thing.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Because if people could still read it, then why couldn't they read that old text before? You know, like, why did they need a translated thing? But 25 years ago was after the rebellion.
Yeah. No. The rebellion was 6 years ago, wasn't it?
Like, that's when it was starting, you know?
Because it all kind of came to an end 6 years ago.
Yes, it all came to an end 6 years ago. But you have to think about, like, the parents being older.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So it would be, like, during the uprising and how everything started to change.
Yeah. And so it is, and it's because it is old, Lucerish or whatever it's called, And so, I mean, even Yesenia can't translate it. Like, she's just struggling a little bit with a couple words, and she translates, and she does say that it was an old king's name.
Mm-hmm.
And she, and I'm wondering if they're translating it because not a lot of people can read it, but maybe some people can because it's not too old. And so it's, oh, we need to translate this so we can get rid of the original and change the text, kind of like they've been doing.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because why in the middle of that book, especially about the history of Navarre, are they mentioning an old king's name that lived 1,000 years ago before Navarre was even formed?
Mm-hmm. I feel like we really need to get more into the royalty of this kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
It's talked about so much, but so little.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just mentioned so often, but we just don't know anything yet. But I know we do. I think rereading Onyx Storm is going to be interesting, just as we get to know the other kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be really interesting.
I also agree. I think like Onyx Storm really built out the politics of the world, which is I feel like what we're missing here. Because even though like right now we're seeing them rewrite their books again.
Mm-hmm.
We're also seeing writers being taken for not like requests from the archive, which is so interesting.
Why was a writer looking for a book like that? Like, what was he looking for? And we don't even know what the writer was named, but it is interesting. Like, it shows that maybe some other people are a little bit suspicious. But also, what if he was just genuinely looking for the book? Like, oh, I'm just interested in some history, which cannot relate. I am not a fan of history. So boring. So boring to me. There's some things that are interesting, but it's just not my cup of tea. I'd rather read other things.
But it's also one of those things where it's so interesting that why would you make that part of your public library if you don't want people checking that out? Like if you don't want people to know about it or to talk about it, why is that part of your libraries?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're taking and pulling books off the shelf and basically banning books in this world is crazy to me. I personally don't think that books should ever be banned.
And it's also interesting that we didn't hear about it in book 1, but also, like we've said, like this is from Violet's perspective. She probably just didn't see it if it was happening. And
but she was around the archive so much.
But so much. That is true. So it is interesting, like, why is that starting to happen now? And I wonder if it's because they realized that the rebellion is kind of still happening. And there's maybe more people than they thought in it. And more powerful people, because obviously Violet now knows the information.
Exactly, which is so interesting that maybe they're like finally thinking that it's going to sway. And then they're still like trying to take control because now they're redacting the letters. Also the fact that they redacted the letter so carefully. Yeah,
and they like openly was like, she was like, they redacted like a page. Like it wasn't just like 1 or 2 sentences. It was like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I just mumbled through that entire sentence. It was like not just 1 or 2 sentences. It was an entire page pretty much worth of information, which again, I said it in the spoiler-free section. It's Mira. What? Like she isn't a part of anything, but I wonder, like I said, if it's because they don't want Violet knowing things about like their stuff.
Definitely true. That could be it. But I'm also just thinking, was it something about like why? Like, is she specifically going there to build a ward, or is she specifically there to, provide extra something? Or like, I wonder if that's the reason why it was redacted. Or if they just wanted to make Violet feel more cut off from like
it's just like a play tactic.
Yeah.
Like, oh look, we have control.
Yeah, definitely like more of a controlling tactic, which is so interesting because, like you said, we don't really know a lot about the politics of the world because it hasn't really been introduced yet.
Yeah. And, Mir's going to Athbean, which is also interesting. Like, why? It was just attacked. Like, why are they going there?
It
And
was just attacked.
and we don't know because it was redacted.
Especially because it was attacked, and then they also said that there was uprisings over there, which caused them to almost lose the like battlement or I don't know, what is that called? Outpost. There it is.
Outpost. There. I was like battle post. I was like, that's wrong.
Like, there it is. It's an outpost. I also find it interesting that it's not. I don't think that Mira would add anything about like their flight patterns, though.
No, but it's just like you said, it is interesting, and I also think it's interesting on how we find out that the first 6 isn't the first writers,
and
it's not shocking, but it is definitely like a because like they are so firm on the first 6. There was no one before, and it's again an offhanded comment, but I feel like that is an important offhanded comment.
Extremely, especially because they talk about how great the 6 was and how the 6 revolutionized them and how the 6 made the wards and things like that. But we are seeing that maybe that might not be the case.
Yeah. And
which would change a lot of things.
And I'm wondering if the first 6 kind of became the different aisles.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or like something along those lines. Or it's like the people before that became the aisles, and that's why like they're oh, we don't do dragons, or we want to do dragon trading, but we don't want to do. I am actually kind of excited to reread Onyx Storm and kind of digest that a bit more, because I'm going to be completely honest, I don't remember much about the politics.
Yeah, just because, I mean, it was so new also. Hard to take up that much politics and that much character building all in one go, especially for the first time.
Yeah. And as much as I prefer reading new books, there are benefits to rereading. Like, this is a fun series to reread, for sure. But,
definitely. Also, the fact that they're now, like, searching her bags thinking that she's going to have something extreme in her bag that's going to implicate her is just very interesting, and once again is a power play from them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that it just goes into like that politics thing of like, hey, we're going to do all these little things to get into your head about this.
Absolutely.
Which is working, but also at the same time building her resilience, which I think is good to see, especially in these books.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And we see her resilience kind of, again, like you said, like growing even into Onyx Storm, like when she's at that dinner and she ends up like poisoning all the people. Like the resilience of, oh, like fine, I'll play. If you're gonna play dirty, I'll play dirty. Like I'm fine doing this now. Like it is fun to see like the little seeds of that starting.
Yeah.
And growing.
The character development is always good.
We're here for it. And I also did want to mention how both of them, he didn't say it in this episode, but how both of them chapters mentioned that their love is toxic. Like, this is a known fact between them, and they say it all the time. And Rebecca has stated he's being just as toxic as Dane.
For sure. Absolutely.
Like, absolutely.
I'm not going to lie about it.
He was like, he's being just as toxic as Dane. You're just excusing him because he's hot. Why?
I mean, technically, like, if we, like, bare bones of it, like, Dane might be hot. Like, in terms of, like, who I picture most of these guys are hot. So like they're really fit people. Like how like
Yeah.
they're fit, they're active, they got good personalities for the most part. So yeah, they're gonna be attractive.
Yeah. But like Xaden has that, I don't know how else to say, but like that like bad boy personality that I don't know how else to say that, but
What you
the
don't the dark emo boy vibe.
thank you. That's better. No, this
The
our emo dragon boy. There we go. Our
the
emo
bad
dragon boy.
boy emo dragon vibes.
There you
Yeah.
go. And so it's like he has that personality, and a lot of people are drawn to that in books
Mhm.
and media because we don't want to deal with that in real life, so let's deal with that in a book and kind of just see like, it's like the fantasies of a man like that, but you're not going to be with a man like that.
Yeah.
It's like how we
Valid.
deal with men like them is the sexy
Yeah.
version of men like them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things where if you really look at it about the situation, bare bones of this, it's not good. And neither of them should be in a relationship. I
No.
feel like I've said it before, but I don't really like any of them together.
I like them apart. I think they're good.
yeah.
I think they're strong characters apart, but I do think
For sure.
I know we've talked about it. I'm really, really hoping Book 4 is them apart the entire book, and the cliffhanger is, and there he was, Xaden, end the book.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Something
and I
like
killed
that.
him, Xaden, end the book.
Yeah.
Or something, like it ends with them, like, I think Book 4 needs to be them apart, hopefully the entire book, but at least the majority of the book, so they can grow as their own characters and as themselves, and like, so Violet can learn how to like ground herself in this world again without someone to lean on to the extent, like, because I mean you lean on
Violet
your friends.
is very codependent.
Yes,
Not gonna lie, like, yeah, Xaden is codependent in a way, but in a hyper independent codependent relationship, which can happen.
there you go.
I was like, it is a big mouthful.
It is, but you got there. So proud of you.
Violet is a very codependent person.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to lean on people. I mean, like, I lean on you, I lean on Avery,
Absolutely.
I lean on Justine, like I lean on all of my friends, and but it's like not like, oh my gosh, if I can't talk to you today, Kaylee, I'm gonna die, and how am I gonna like no, I love you, but
yeah,
no.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is healthy boundaries, sticking with those, learning how to operate like without those, and like
learning that you can be in the wrong as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
learning
hold
and
your
accepting
ground
your
if it's
flaws.
something. Yes, and it's like if it's something that's like, hey, hold your ground if you need to, and it's a boundary, but it's like, hey, you stepped over someone else's boundary or you made someone else uncomfortable, go like, hey, like, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean it that way, or if like, hey, I won't do that again. Like kind of just
Exactly.
You can accept when you're wrong, and I think both Violet, I think, yeah, like they need to learn how to do that better. And like Xaden is starting. I feel like his arc is starting there. Like, I was an asshole. Like, he fully admitted it. I'm an asshole. I'm trying to do better. And I think book 4 is going to be Violet kind of going through that.
Yeah, I think Violet's going to realize that she was also wrong in certain aspects and things like that. But we'll see. We can only tell as
when
time
the book is
goes
here.
on.
Yeah.
And we can only tell
I'm just hoping for a Violet Xaden fight in book 5. That'd be so interesting.
Well, it's either going to happen in book 4 or book 5. So we're going to get
There has to be.
I find it interesting that, like, when Xaden is saying that he isn't here to win the battle, but he's here to win the war, I think that's foreshadowing a lot more. I feel like that's foreshadowing, like, both within their relationship, but then also foreshadowing, like, within the revolution that they are going to win. And then...
Yeah, absolutely. And also, he says it all of the time. You're going to be the death of me, like, to Violet. And, I mean, like, you hear that in other media. Like, it's just something like a one-off. But he says it so much. And with, like, such a passion, I feel like. I'm just like, I feel like she wouldn't put that in if it isn't used later. Because it's just how much she says it. And I'm like, if Violet is the one to kill Xaden, make it
love
a
it.
Shakespearean tragedy, like a Romeo and
I
Juliet-esque thing.
I need it.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be so good.
I need
So
it.
here.
I want
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Also, just like the fact that
That
they
is it.
haven't.
The podcast is over. That is
Yeah.
what she wants.
That's. I need it. I want it. That's it. Because I do think that she is going to play a huge role in that. Just in general,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
there's no way
And
that
also,
can't.
in book 3, he's like, you're the only one that can kill me, and I need you to know how to do it, and you need to do it. Like, he
Yeah.
says it just so much.
Mhm.
You're telling me that she's not gonna kill him with all of the foreshadowing? Please.
Exactly.
Like, she has to. I'm so here. And I think, make it, like, gut-wrenchingly sad. It'll be so good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so here for that.
I'm like, it's gonna be with one of the first daggers that he ever gave to her.
It'll be the first. Yes, it'll be the
Mhm.
first dagger.
Yeah.
And it'll be so good.
Like, I want it.
I want it so bad.
That's
I
all
do.
I want.
God, it'd be so good. And I know we are in a very unpopular opinion in that, but I think it'd be so good. And someone did ask, like, oh, like, who's your favorite villain to Rebecca, and she openly says Xaden. So
for sure.
She has to kill him.
I don't know. I'm in love with that. I want the Shakespearean tragedy. Oh, but also interesting, like, already here, they kind of talk about it where the alloy wasn't always put into daggers. Like, somehow somehow the war was won against the Venom without daggers. Like, interesting that they didn't have daggers, like, before. Like, how did they defend
and also,
off
how did
the
they
Venom?
figure that out?
Yeah. And then also, how long have they been making the daggers? Because it seems within recent times that they've been doing it.
Yeah.
Because if Xaden, like, either recalls or knows about a time in history that it wasn't all daggers, kind of interesting. Also, but why daggers? Why so close?
Why not, like, bows?
Yeah, bows, swords.
Like, what? It's so interesting.
So
again, it's going into, like, the history that I'm very excited to learn more about.
Yeah, we're very, very excited to learn more about it, but I think that concludes our spoiler section, unless, Ashley, is there any big points that you have?
No, we covered the big
Anything else?
points that I had.
I know.
Yeah. But, well, thank you guys for joining. We really appreciate it. And, wow, it was so nice to film a podcast without any technical issues.
It really was. And
so
with that
nice.
big sigh of relief, of course, we're going to ask you to do all of the things. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Do all of the buttons.
Do all of the buttons for us.
We appreciate all of your support, and we will see you next week for chapters 13 and 14. Let's see. Wait. Brain just malfunctioned.
So you did 11 and 12, and then we're going to do 13 and 14.
And then I'll say, let's see if the Voida goes back today. And I was like, that is so wrong. Kaylee just say it.
And on that note, the only thing that we have to say to you is, what did the void have to say to you?